Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for another episode of Antonio's Movie Reviews. Today I have the 1996 crime thriller, Bound, starring Jennifer Tilley, Gina Gershon, and Joe Pantoliano. The movie was written and directed by the Wachowskis. I want to begin by saying I really enjoyed this movie. It's one that was recommended to me a while ago, and I was honestly doing myself a disservice waiting so long to watch it. The movie is essentially about two women who meet in an elevator who come up with a very elaborate plan to make off with the mob's money. The performances in this movie were especially solid in my opinion, and the movie was very stylishly directed. For me, this movie was very suspenseful. I can't really say exactly why it appealed to my emotions so much. I suppose it was my likeness for the characters. Corky and Violet were playing such a dangerous game. In regard to their relationship, the movie is not subtle at all in their love scenes. Some people may be unfortunately turned off by that, especially because it's shown so early in the film and definitely comes at you all at once. Gershon and Tilley have so much chemistry in this movie that it all seemed genuine, and that made this story work quite well. An overall theme of the movie seems to be trust, hence the title Bound. The two women have to be committed in order for this plan to work. That in itself adds a very high level of suspense. Corky, played by Gershon, is an ex-convict herself, and she comes off as sort of a shady character from the beginning. Violet is living a double life as it is, even soliciting her gangster boyfriend Caesar's associates behind his back. It's through Violet's line of work that she learns that Shelley, a man working for the mob, has embezzled over $2 million. Later, Violet hears Caesar and his mafia associates torturing Shelley to get the location of the money. Violet, upset by the violence, seeks comfort from Corky, where the two come up with a plan to steal the money and start a new life. Personally, I'm very happy the Wachowskis decided to go with a female to play the role of Corky. Without that, this movie would have added itself to probably at least a dozen other movies with this same exact storyline.
Hi. My name's Violet. We sort of met on the elevator. Fault is just the walls here are so terribly thin. To fix it, his hands were magic.
Thanks.
My pleasure. Yet, I didn't know he would call you. He must think I'm a total new. Doing the dishes, and just as I pulled the stopper, my earring fell in.
Instead, it separates itself as perhaps the first mainstream film to have a lesbian relationship at its center, but that in itself isn't central to the plot of this movie.
I say yes, will you take your hand away?
No.
Dark in here.
Corky's doing some work for Mr. Bianchini.
Well, Bianchini hired you. You must be pretty good with your hands. You know, he's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, that's what Violet.
Hey, Violet. You look great.
You're so beautiful.
Thin walls, remember?
What you heard wasn't sex.
To be completely honest, the movie felt so genuine that I wasn't thinking much about sexuality at all towards the end of the film. The sex scenes in this film were choreographed by a feminist writer and educator, Susie Bright, and I think that had a big effect. Something like this could have been very controversial, but to me the scenes were tasteful, and I know that may not be everyone's opinion. With a budget of $6 million, the Wachowskis' first feature film made $7 million and apparently got them a lot of comparisons to the Coen brothers.
They talk about it. They start to plan. It's kind of like flirting. Because the more they talk about it, the wetter they get. I want to see the money.
Shelley took us to the money. I'll tell you something. Mickey, he knows his shit. He does.
Come to my place in the morning. Early.
Bound reminded critics a lot of the Coens' first film, 1984's Blood Simple. After Bound, the Wachowskis went on to The Matrix in 1999. We know they certainly hit pay dirt with that one. Personally, I wouldn't even think The Matrix would be their style after Bound, but they obviously have a passion for science fiction movies, as I don't see them having written, directed, or produced any other movies similar to Bound since then.
He's a complete idiot, but, you know, what can you do? Johnny runs Chicago.
Isn't Angelo Marzoni head of the Marzoni family?
Yeah, that's his brother. Yeah,
And Johnny Marzoni's his son. That's Johnny?
yeah.
I have an idea how to make this work. Go back and get ready.
What if he sees you?
He won't.
Although the movie began as particularly erotic, the thickening of the plot quickly turns this into sort of an edge-of-your-seat thriller because if anything goes wrong, you know Corky and Violet will surely be dead. This part was surely suspenseful.
I'm gonna need something to fill the case. At that point, there's no turning back. Because if you're real enough, he's gonna believe you. Because deep down, he'll want to.
That doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Well, I just saw Johnny down.
What?
Yeah, I was getting out of my car and I saw him in his BMW.
The second he opens up that case, he's gonna know in his gut that Johnny just fucked him. He'll have to run.
And
Caesar, played by Joe Pantoliano, is solid in my opinion. He really displayed a state of desperation quite well, I thought. At times, he even added a bit of comedy to the film.
why? Why would Johnny do this? He totally freaked out. I've never seen him like this. He's out of his fucking... He's coming.
I got it.
I was impressed with our pal Joey Pants' range and emotions throughout the movie. This was Pantoliano's first leading role. He was suggested by Gershon, who some of you may remember from the movie she did prior to this, Showgirls. This movie marked a comeback for Gina Gershon, whose career has maintained very steadily since Bound. The film did really well in terms of being somewhat stylized as a noir, giving that feeling of suspicion, as in anything could go wrong. The setting of Chicago gives the movie a very dark and gritty color scheme, along with feelings of doom for the viewers, such as the scene with Caesar telling Johnny to open the case.
You gotta start respecting Johnny the way you respect me. Stop acting stupid. You gotta earn this respect that Chesapeake's gonna get.
Open the fucking case. You don't need a key.
Then how the fuck can I open it?
The same.
There was an element of danger that was present throughout the entire movie that was really enthralling for me. The movie was very tense for at least the latter 2/3, I'd say. Though my review contained spoilers, I made sure to leave out the elements of their plan. It was very intricate.
Fuck.
Caesar, what are we gonna do?
You're just cops. Storm as long as you...
As we all know, however, nothing ever goes according to plan. This movie received considerable criticism due to all the violence displayed, which I will say some of the scenes towards the end were indeed rough, but nothing compared to the movies of today's standards. I'd also like to mention that it's nice to have something to think about regarding these two instead of Showgirls and Seed of Chucky. If this movie were to be remade today, it would be much more controversial.
Gotta buy more time. More time.
Yeah.
Hey, Mickey.
Oh, God. So I'll start packing. You know what you have to do.
I'll use Johnny's car to...
Have a little time, but as soon as he leaves, it's over. Just a little while longer.
Who's that? Why, who the fuck was that?
If this movie were to be remade, I would also put some considerable research into selecting the cast. I can indeed say that although the story has been done numerous times, this one kept me quite immersed and was easy to follow. Personally, I have unfortunately not seen The Matrix, so I'm unable to compare the style of that film in regard to also being directed by the Wachowskis. Although I at first didn't want to see anything happen to Caesar, I found myself of course rooting for the girls. To me they didn't come off as greedy, with Violet even attempting to split the money with Caesar early on in the film and he of course rejected.
I know everything now. So I don't want to hear any I don't know bullshit, you understand? Lick me. Where is my money?
What a load of crap. Take a look at yourself, Caesar. You're nothing... Sorry, Corky.
Don't be sorry. Help me. Oh, no, no, no!
The apartment next door. I put in the paint drums.
Good. Now, but I need your help. You gotta help me make Mickey believe that everything is normal.
I have to give credit to this movie because at the beginning it seemed like it was just going to be pure trash, but I'll go as far as to say that it redeemed itself, at least for me, in a sense. The film itself is quite unusual, and you have to admire the entire crew for being brave enough in 1996 to make it. It's like if you disregard the entire eroticism aspect of this film, you'll still be left with the great neo-noir crime thriller.
This asshole act like I'm Gina.
Holy Christ, we've been working.
In the waiting room. Stay on the phone until I come out.
Okay. Call me as soon as you get him, eh?
Leave your phone on the hook.
My advice for this movie would be to go in as I did with no expectations. The movie underpromises but overdelivers in my opinion. The movie aged decently barring the suits and some of the hairstyles probably, but I say that it was beautifully shot. Very exciting.
I didn't want to make it with Caesar. All Caesar, he made me help him. You have to. Corky.
To summarize this movie, I would basically just say it's a very intriguing, exciting thriller film that has quite a bit of violence and eroticism to it, but worth a watch. Tilley is alright as an actress in my opinion and was very solid, but Gershon and Joe Pantoliano really made this film for me, and the entire cast as a whole just exuded chemistry, I thought. I enjoyed all of the characters and the overall cinematography of the film. It's hard to believe this movie has remained so virtually unseen throughout the years. And the moment she got away. I'd like to thank you all for watching my movie review on the 1996 movie Bound. I appreciate you all for your continued support of my channel, and I promise to return sooner than later with my next video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon for another episode of Antonio's Movie Reviews. Thanks.